Hey guys, Level here. Today we're going to be doing Inferno T-side. Gonna probably make a video for every map, every side. So the next video is going to be Inferno CT side. And I think the goal of the videos is anybody that watches them that is in the bottom like 95% of players will be able to understand a little bit more about each map, because obviously a map like Inferno has a lot of complaints. Even at my level, like, I don't necessarily enjoy this map, but that could be because my teammates just don't understand little things, but it's fine. It's gonna be super casual, super simple. There are other videos out there that will talk about like how to default on the map and specific like pro strategies. I don't really think that applies to most games that are being played. Obviously, like, you can default if you want, which means that you have like two guys apps, two guys banana, one guy holding mid. But I don't think every round should be played this way. So I'm just going to talk about how I think majority of T-side games should be played, and what I'm going to be saying in this video is going to help you at the very least be like a pretty solid purple player, like 15k plus, maybe even higher than that. And if you already know things about the game, then maybe this will help you make your push towards 20k. So we're going to start with the pistol round. I'm not going to talk about spawns. There's other videos for that. And it doesn't really matter. It's just like, do you have a banana spawn or not? But, okay, pistol round. We can go B. People buy nades on pistol round. Obviously, there's a molly, there's an HE sometimes. You can wait for it. You can run through it. It's fine. There's a really nasty flash that some people do, where they go like this. Okay, I missed it because I don't know the flash, but it lands above the half wall. And they'll swing with two guys. They'll have one guy here and one guy with dualies. So that's something to look out for. It's kind of hard to dodge. Like, the flash is actually really disgusting, but it's a B rush, right? Pretty standard. Take this, walk onto site, kill the people, plant the bomb. Okay, like, I'm not gonna teach you how to play a pistol round. Like, you should know how to do that. But you can go banana, right? You can also go mid. Keep in mind, like, CTs in any game, they will peek mid, right? They don't have to, but they can. Sometimes on my pistol rounds as a CT, I will run down here because I just kind of usually assume that it's a B hit, and no one's really holding for the mid push on the first fucking round. So I usually, like, they don't even hold mid sometimes, so you can just come and shoot them in the back. The USPS obviously has a range advantage, so be very careful about taking this fight and standing still. If you're going to take this fight, you're going to want to run. Maybe send somebody Mexico. Like, you're going to need teammates and numbers here if you're going to go mid. Which is kind of why I recommend going alt mid. You can go into apps. You can do a bulk pop if you want. You can take apps control slowly and, you know, go through boiler. That's fine. I think that just this fight right here is enough if you guys are going arch. It's a close range fight. Honestly, if the CT sits here and holds this, no CT should ever be standing here still. If they're standing still, they probably don't have a very good understanding of the map, and you should be able to beat this team. So if you take this fight, just because it's an easy angle, maybe you buy a smoke or a flashbang. You can smoke that. You can go arch. I would go arch personally, because arch opens up the availability of killing the arch player, going speedway, killing the B rotator, or wrapping into an A hit. It's just probably the most dynamic pistol round you can have, and maybe, in my opinion, it's probably the most consistent. So that's a pistol round. After that, you're going to have to deal with the anti-eco, right? So when you're dealing with an anti-eco, or when their enemy team's ecoing and you're on the anti-eco, um, I wouldn't really throw smoke grenades because what pistols can do is they can hide around the smoke and it'll actually, and on any map, don't throw smoke grenades against eco. If you want, I suppose you could smoke top mid like this. There's a little design at the top of this barred off window, and you can left click jump throw. This will make it so, like, you know, the guy peeking mid with an eagle probably doesn't kill you, right? But what you need to look out for is nade stacks and sight stacks on the eco round on Inferno. So they're either going to nade mid and push mid. You can sit back and hold this. Hopefully multiple people are holding with you. It should be a pretty easy round, and you shouldn't lose it as long as you're waiting for it. They could triple nade banana, so I wouldn't run banana off the rip. If you hear triple nades, probably just run A site. What's going to happen on the eco is they might throw these grenades and instantly rotate. So you can go A if you want, but you can also go B on the eco round. So you have a Mac 10, whatever, nades come in, then you come here. You can buy a Molotov and molly off the sandbag if you don't really want to clear it. So you are up against pistols. I would be careful of like a Zeus or a dually set here. But again, like, don't be afraid. They probably don't have armor. If you have 5 SMGs going in this direction, you should be able to kill this guy. Maybe a guy hiding here, you can molly that. And the B site is a much better site to be clearing against the pistol stack, right? Because it's very obvious where they're going to be. They're going to be first orange, second orange, new box, maybe emo. If they're playing coffin, that really only works to your advantage against the eco, and they can boost, right? So if you want, smoke CT, but again, it's an eco round. So if they smoke CT, let's say they bought a little bit, right? It is Inferno. The CTs probably are encouraged to force buy second round if they lost pistol, because they need utility to hold the rest of the map, right? So if I am a guy CT with 5.7 half armor, flashbang, right, and you smoke this off, I'm just gonna flash water and run through the smoke with a 5.7, and I'm gonna take my fight, right? So maybe don't smoke it, right, and just run up and take the fight against the 5.7, because if he's coming through smoke, what this does, especially if you're solo queuing, is, well, people think it's smoked off so that the CTs can't run through it. And you need to hold the smoke. It's very important. So I would go B. I wouldn't go A in the second round. It's really up to you. Because let's say they stack A, which is very unlikely. Like, it doesn't happen a lot, but someone on the balcony is quite annoying. Pit is a hard position to deal with. These sight boxes are in a much more condensed area than the ones on B site. So when you come this way, like, you have to deal with so many angles. And if you didn't send somebody apps, the guy could even be just hiding in apps. And he'll, you know, shoot you in the back when you're planting the bomb. They could have a lot of, like, crossfires from different directions. It could be very difficult to deal with if they stacked A. Arch is pretty easy. You could molly the cubby. You could take space this way. If you are going to go A, I would go arch. Again, similar to the pistol round. Let's talk about the gun round. So your gun rounds, again, you can throw this top mid smoke. Right here, I just up against the left, kind of at the bottom of this design at the top, left click. It mollies top, smokes top mid. What this does is it kind of, so you know how, like, when you go when you go arch, long or short, right? You can smoke one side and then you just go in the other direction. What this smoke does is it smokes both sides. So you get 2 smokes for the price of 1. And it also denies the CTs from peeking mid. Maybe, you know, they'll fuck up their molly lineup, right? So my molly lineup, a lineup that Elige uses also, is there's this little, I guess it's a chimney. I don't know exactly what it is. I guess it's a chimney. You just hold left click on it, it mollies the bottom. You should know how to do that without the lineup, but like it's just easier sometimes. It also mollies Mexico. Maybe not with a CT molly, but the smoke could make them miss their molly or their HE grenade because they'll be strafing and they won't really get the nade as deep as they want, and they'll left click and maybe they'll hit this building, right? So the smoke's good. You can also, if this is smoked, let's say you're on some kind of rush or something with SMGs, you can just pop flash through it, push arch, and you're good, right? So this is a good top mid smoke. It's also a very historic way to play Inferno. Maybe it's not extremely meta. I have seen the smoke thrown in some Navi games recently, but I as a player, my playstyle, I do like denying info at the top of mid, right? Even if it's just a conditioning thing, because then you know, maybe the CTs don't know if we're going A or not, so they won't just push down mid. Sure. Right, let's say you're going car. So let's say you're not the first or second spawn. You can come up here on the left, or you can get inside the fence. Right at the top of this sign, if you left click jump throw, it's a car flash. So CTs are peeking car. They bought a FAMAS or some shit. He's blind. Okay, your teammate pushes up. He's blind. Oh shit, I'm blind. I gotta run back. Now he's dead. We're going banana. This is a key feature of the map. What you should be doing is throwing a deep molly. I used to molly like this. This is some noob shit. Okay, stop doing this. Because what it does is it doesn't allow you to take any space in this area. Like, if realistically, if you could get right here, it's a lot more helpful. So, and honestly, the CTs don't care, because if you molly that way, sometimes they can still peek behind the car. And you don't want them to do that because, you know, in your head you think you just mollied it, right? So come along the right side, throw a deep molly like this along this pillar, this support beam going into that building. Just W, run through it. No way I missed it, bro. There's no way, bro. Every time I film a video. Okay, a little bit more to the right. It throws a deeper molly, and it mollied us off anyways, which is just criminal because I hit the half wall again, so I don't know what's wrong. Maybe it's along the left side. Nope, that missed too. What's going on here? What is going on here? I hate this game. Alright, I guess it's not along the wall, it's just straight up, straight down the center. I mean, whatever. Straight down the center, you have a deep molly. It gives you this little pocket here, which, like, let's say the CT smoke here, or molly there. It's a CT molly, so it won't spread that much. So if you run with your molly, you will actually be able to stand in this pocket right here sometimes, and you'll be able to fight. So let's say you molly car, you have a teammate that mollies sandbags. You can come into this pocket here. Let's say, you know, after your molly, you flash, and you go like this. You're gonna have this space already, and maybe he sandbags. So what you should do in the event that he's in this corner, or this corner, is you come to the half wall, you get corner control. After you get corner control, make sure you full run and clear everything. Like, you clear it like this. Don't half clear it and then decide to jump like this, because when you jump and he's in this deeper corner, these two deeper corners, you won't be able to kill him, right? So just a small thing, you want to hold your A key into the barrel and fully clear that and then get on it. This is a little, like, mechanic that's a part of the game on some of the jumps, is you crouch, hold your A key, jump, let go of crouch, and you can shoot a lot faster as opposed to just jumping up. Well, that kind of worked. You can just hold A and jump, I guess, if you do it. I did it. Huh. I did it without crouching. Yeah, if you're a little bit off of the barrel, I don't know. See, it's way harder. Just come to the barrel, crouch, and then go up. It's you'll be able to shoot a lot faster. To do it without crouching takes incredible timing. And you need to be like off of the barrel a little bit so it's not really consistent. Um, let's say we're going banana, right? Another thing from T-spawn you can do if the CTs are really good with utility is you can throw this smoke right here. There's this arch in T-spawn. You're going to align with the right side. And there's a yellow dress or towel and a green shirt. And then there's this little wooden beam off of the roof below it. You put your crosshair on the beam. You W left click jump throw. Tap W tap. And what this is going to do is it lands top banana. And it will extinguish the molly that the CTs throw here. And you can come in behind it and hold half wall. Now, it's kind of a new smoke, which is, by new, I'd say it's like maybe a year old that like I'm aware of. So what's going to happen is this is going to probably eventually become normalized on this map. And, you know, if you watch this video in your CT and you see this deep smoke that obviously the CTs didn't throw, you'll know that there's a pocket right behind the smoke that this guy's in. And if you see it land, you know he might push through the smoke also. So you can save your grenade to land right in the pocket, or you can molly like this. You can nade like the smoke. I guess what's the best way to nade the pocket? Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, you can extinguish the CT molly. You can use it as like a rush smoke. You can come through, especially if your teammate is flashing over the half wall for you, or you know above you. Somehow, I don't really like these flashes. I don't have a specific lineup because they're just not very consistent up here. But I guess you know anything, as long as it's behind your teammate, it shouldn't really matter. But yeah, this smoke is super crucial for just gaining some space if the enemy team is really good with their grenades. So, more about B site. Also, a small thing, just to go back to the pistol round. Let's say we're going arch, right? Let's do like a 4-1 round. So let's send 4 guys arch like this way, and you can have 1 guy hold banana. Because on a lot of CT pistol rounds, like the CTs will just push down banana. And if you have a guy playing here for info, he can kill 1 or 2, and let's say you don't have any A space yet, you can just rotate in. So I would do like a 4-1. You can do 5-0. That's fine. You can, you know, commit to the rush. That's a good mentality to have as a team. But if you have 1 guy just holding bottom banana so you don't get shot in the back, it's also very good. Okay, back to B site. So if you stand on this barrel, like right in front of it, the top of this roof, if you left click a molly, it'll land on the corner. So if the CTs are fighting in the corner a lot, you can push them off, which is also good if it's paired with the deep car molly or a sandbags molly, because then you're trapping the CTs if they are pushed up, right? Because they can't run back through the molly, they'll take a bunch of damage. If they are running back through the molly, you can do the same thing and, you know, left click a nade into the corner. You know, this is the lineup, it works fine, but you can also just throw it a little bit deeper because they're going to be burning while falling back. This is my CT smoke. Most people just like stand here and aim, but I always specifically line it up in the event that it misses. So there's a dark marking here on this gas piece of metal. I don't know what the fuck it is. It says gas on it. I go half on the dark, half on the light, and then I left click on the corner just because it's just more consistent. So that smoke lands on top of the boost as opposed to a normal CT smoke. The other thing about my lineup is that the smoke does not bleed out. So if someone is pushing the smoke, they have less time where they're not exposed on the rush, right? So like a lot of CT smokes you'll see just from like people left clicking is it'll land like here and it bleeds out a lot. So this guy can like straight up just run all the way to water and come out behind the smoke. And as you saw, my smoke doesn't allow this bleed out, which is why I think it's better. You can fully clear sandbags by coming up to this corner and searching for it, and you're not really at a risk of being shot from CT. The only risk you're taking is someone standing here, which means that he'd be having to fight your entire team half wall. And if you do get shot, you can just hit your D key and let your teammates deal with the angle. If you're coming banana, feel free to shoot the wood, just in case the event, in the event that someone is behind the wood. I believe there's a flash here. No, that's not it. Is this CT? I thought there was a coffin smoke here. There's a smoke here. You can learn it if you want. It's not super important. There's smokes here for CT. Okay, all of that allows you to get car control. Now with car control, I should really think about this. So, hold on. I think if you stand here, like you can smoke coffin like this, but it's not really the best smoke. It's it misses a lot actually. On this wood in between the A. So what I figured out yesterday, just by looking at a lineup, is there's a light here, and on the dark part of the light on the left side, you can jump throw, and it lands coffin. Similarly, it's a coffin smoke that doesn't allow a lot of bleed out, because like let's say it's a smoke that looks like this. The CT can just run through the smoke, and he has like half cover coming into the angle. And if you're looking at CT or if you're clearing new box, you have to whip across your screen to kill this guy coming out of the smoke. So another smoke that you don't necessarily want to miss, you want the bleed of the smoke to be further back. This is a very important area. This is the car. Obviously it's not a car, it's just barrels, but people call it car. You're going to want to get stuck in this corner, and you're going to want to molly. If you want to do second orange, it should just be this round thing, the first one, the first what are they called, like shingles. It's the first one. You just left click. That's second orange. If you want it to hit more of a new box, you're going to go to the second one, and it needs to bounce off of this piece of wood. You can kind of miss this smoke where it doesn't spread towards new box. Miss this molly. Where it doesn't spread towards new box. So if you left click here, I mean I think it should spread, but I'm not 100% sure. Yes, so that mollied all of new box, but keep in mind it didn't molly this corner. There are really good ones where it doesn't molly like this far, but it mollies this far, and it kind of hits majority of the corner. You're just gonna have to play around with it and kind of figure that out. If you think he's on top of orange, first orange, you can come not into this corner, but you can come into the center of the barrels, and there is 4 that stick out, and there's like a big one. If you go to the right of the big one, it'll land on top of first orange, and it'll molly first orange. And honestly, a lot of CTs play right here anyways, so you'd be mollying out this entire position. Maybe if you get a few molly ticks, you have a lot of info. Another thing about the sight push is you're gonna want to flash, obviously. A new box molly would help a lot with killing the anchor player. I think you can left click a flash from the same position you threw the coffin smoke from. Just keep in mind, like, your teammates are going into this flash. So there is a flash. Hopefully your teammates know how to entry onto the site and take space and all that. The same place you're throwing the new box molly from, you can throw a flashbang, and it's in the corner, right? And then it's in the middle of this R. You just left click jump throw. And this will flash most of the positions on site, anything, you know, exposed to the flash, and deep CT also. And added bonus, the flash pops behind your teammates. So as long as they're looking at the site, they shouldn't be blind. If they're looking into CT, they can kind of time their peek with the building where it flashes, it pops, and then they swing. And maybe you'll catch somebody like here. I don't think you're going to kill this guy who falls back this way, but you never know. So those are some. That's the CT smoke, the coffin smoke, the orange and new box mollies. There's a B entry flash. Postplant. This is the default plant spot. You can, if there's a coffin player alive, you can spam along the left and the right to maybe kill that guy if he's trying to stop the plant. Always hold your CT smoke, super important. Maybe even save a smoke to re-smoke to deny the CT's entry back onto the site. This is the default plant spot. If you're in a hurry and there's a guy CT, you can plant here and you're covered to CT, but you're stuck, right? Especially if you don't have a smoke. You're going to be stuck here. You're going to get mollied out. These are, if you're coming in T-side and, you know, you're taking space, these orange boxes are wallbangable, especially someone sitting second orange. So I would most definitely, like, if you get to this point and you haven't, you know, new box is mollied off because you mollied it. Remember what I said, how that corner is not going to be mollied? And just spam it and you'll see blood on the wall if he's there. Other plant spots are usually like here, and it's usually when you have deep coffin, church control. Because again, right, if this is smoked off and I plant here and that guy runs through the smoke, I'm going to die. I might not get traded because he can run back into the smoke. So just keep that in mind. Try to have a guy push this if you want to plant here. You can also plant here. Similar thing, you're not exposed to CT, but yeah, like let's say they retake through coffin and your teammate is, you know, holding the banana lurk and he's last alive. He can't really like kill the guy behind the pillar. You know what I mean? Like he has to go, it's hard. So I suppose this is better if your last teammate is coming from banana. And that's like pretty much the B site. I'd be very careful about in the post plant, like sitting in a position like this or this, because the corners actually aren't that deep and they're very obvious. And let's say, you know, they get out CT or your team that's holding banana, right? Obviously the famous Falcons round where they lose the retake. Tessis dies here, Monacy dies here, and then, you know, mages can Nico her in the back, right? One, it's a pre-aim, like whenever you do decide to swing, and it's really easy to molly. So then you have to come out after burning. Everyone's looking at you. You got to fight the guy who threw the molly. You got to fight the guy swinging coffin. It's very difficult. The last thing I will, like two things. Three things. Three more things about B-site. If CT is smoked, or if you did my smoke that lands on top of the boost, and you think they're boosted, you can aim with the building and kill them in the smoke. If you heard them boost, if you just get the general vibe that there's only one guy on site, which is kind of weird. So, like, where's the second guy? Because he's usually here. He might be boosted. You can pre-fire this. Maybe sometimes the CTs try to boost when they're retaking. You usually hear stuff like this if you're lucky. That's good. Second last thing is if you have the smoke here, coffin, and you're planning the bomb or whatever, again, hold the CT smoke, but also if he's in the coffin smoke, you can wallbang along the left side of the building in the corner. Because he's gonna try to be like, oh shit, I got smoked off, like let me spam the smoke. I'm gonna make space for the teammate coming in behind me. I want to run through the smoke, but I don't know if it's a good idea. I'm gonna sit here on the smoke fade and try to kill a guy looking banana when the smoke fades, and he'll be along this wall. Like everything that I just said relies around playing this wall. Better players, you know, will sit in the middle, or they will just full fall back. Because obviously you want to play with your team and stuff. Bonus tip, if you're playing the post plant from here in coffin and you're holding coffin and the enemy team's coming from banana and you have a teammate new box, same thing with a CT retake or a CT not retake but a CT defense or a T site post plant defense. You can throw a flashbang over your teammate new box, maybe even shallower, because that one was kind of deep. You can throw it over so your teammate can swing and the people in the cross will be blind. And the final thing, which I think I missed, is if you come pretty close to this corner and you kind of line up, let's say CT smoked off. If you come pretty close to the corner, sorry, not CT. Actually, a better example is if the cross is smoked off and they're trying to stall you from taking the site. You can come pretty close to this corner. Maybe even just like on it is also good. And the blue window pane, that I'm in no clip. That is in the third window, the window closest to CT. If you left click a molly on it, it will land on the boost and it will molly CT. If you miss that, it'll land CT, but that lineup I just showed you, as long as you're close enough to the corner, will pretty much always hit the top of the boost. So that's the B site. A site, we'll start with middle. So again, I like this smoke. You can use it as conditioning to flip-flop between sites. It denies a lot of info. Throw the smoke. Let's say you have best spawn. A lot of strong players, and by strong players I mean like, you know, veterans of the game, not veterans, like pros, like people like Get Right and fucking Olaf and Forrest and shit, like old legends. They've played this game so much more than me and they understand so much more than me, and obviously they're pros, right? And they don't throw any fucking util on this map, okay? They take a flashbang, they throw a deep flashbang, and they get into Mexico, and they hold Mexico for the CTs to make a mistake, right? That's all you need to do. Single flashbang. You don't need to smoke up there. If you want, if they cross a lot, you guys can triple nade the cross. If he jumps boiler. If the CTs smoke top mid, you can use the right side here to nade boiler. It's usually get some good damage. I think Mexico is kind of underrated. I don't like a player like myself. I like to run to the right and try to kill the guy in the cross, or like I have decent success 1v1ing like oppers and shit here. It'll get you killed, but sometimes you have to take, you know, aggressive risk to get good rewards, right? So if I take an aggressive risk here and I kill the arch player at the beginning of the round, that might cause a rotate somewhere, or there'll be a very large gap somewhere in the defense that we can expose later in the round. Or I'll just die and I'll look very stupid. You're going to see more in your games in the next, you know, probably like 6 months, that CTs are smoking mid a lot, you know, especially as you rank up. CTs are smoking mid, so you can nade it open. You're gonna wanna like, you could wait out the smoke. You're gonna want to hard clear that left corner and let your teammates in alt mid know that they smoke mid. We don't have vision of mid, because the whole point of that smoke is to either push the smoke and come in behind the banana hit. Oh my god. Or this is smoked off. I can now push alt mid and fight here or here, or let's say I have a teammate holding the smoke for me, right? Just to make sure that T's don't come up from T ramp, and I'm an opper. I can now hold this, get a free pick, fall back, and now we have a 4v5. So you need to be very cautious with this smoke in middle. You don't, to be honest, you really don't need ace smokes. That's just my personal opinion. It's a very North American opinion. You don't need ace smokes. However, if you want them, you can come into this corner. There's there's a white mark here on this roof. Might be hard to see in the video. It's right here. You can, is it a W or just a left click? Let's try a left click jump throw. This looks like it missed, so I'm going to assume that it's a W jump throw. If you W jump throw in that corner, you get a moto smoke. There's more smoke lineups here. I don't really like them that much because it's just hard to remember. There's so many stupid things to look at here that it's hard to remember the smoke lineups. I think this might be a smoke. I left click jump throw. No, that's useless garbage. Don't worry about that. So this is a smoke I invented just kind of recently. If you come into the corner of Mexico, there's a little, I think it's like a lantern. Oh, it's a stop sign. The stop sign you can see from Mexico. You're in this left corner. You're going to put your crosshair on it. You're going to run forward and then jump. And when you jump up, like you're going to, like a normal jump up, like we're coming Mexico, we're going to go here. You can jump early if you want, but I'll show you the difference between the two. So running jump throw, right? It's going to bounce off of the rooftop, and it's going to land in pit. It's going to smoke off the pit angle and maybe the pit boost. If you jump early because you like misclicked or something, or you're not very good with timing, I jumped early there. It will land in front of pit, which is like fine. Like if you're doing like a rush or something, it still blocks the angle. Obviously be careful of someone playing the cusp of the smoke. But honestly, you might kind of want the pit player to be here because he's easier to kill because there's no cover. Keep in mind the pit player can sit behind the smoke. In the event that he sits behind the smoke, you can come lane because it's smoked. Obviously, watch out for balcony and watch out for this angle, which is very dangerous at the top of this truck. People play up here or here. Just be careful. Throw a quick molly into the pit. And the smoke lands here, right? So the pit will be mollied off. And then he'll come into this angle anyways, and you can kill him. I don't have a library smoke or an arch smoke off the top of my head from middle. I used to know one that landed like right here. So you could smoke that, your teammate could smoke this. You could run up, you could molly cubby, and you can run up again, and you could throw a flashbang off this like dark spot. And then you like push into arch if you want. and fight the guy. Maybe he's sitting, this area is called Fountain, and this is Speedway. He could be sitting Fountain, and you can take a 1v1 fight, and then, you know, kind of stop rotations between A and B. Okay, so where were we? We have top mid control, right? Because we threw, you know, our early smoke or whatever. Same thing apply. Like, honestly, on the fly strats are very good. You can smoke left side, you can smoke right side, and just push the other direction. It's fine. Molly's at the top of mid, so if you molly along this corner, obviously you're exposed to arch here, so what you can do is, this one's pretty easy to remember. You're exposed to this angle, be very careful, but keep in mind, like, CTs will peek this for an early kill, especially if they know the timing, or for instance, let's start talking about alt mid when going A. So I'm a T, I just spawned in, I'm running to take apps control. There's a shadow at the top of alt mid where I can put my crosshair and left click jump throw under the window. Obviously don't do too far to the right or too far to the left. Under the window, jump throw, it mollies the balcony, right? Or if you hear me shoot the glass while I'm running up, this is information that you're giving to the enemy team. Keep in mind, when you break the glass, you are giving information that you are in alt mid, your team is in alt mid, you might be going A, right? So the CTs might get active if they know you're in this area. And then let's say, just for some reason, we throw a flashbang and we're gonna go this way, right? So the timing of the glass breaking and the flashbang happening now tells the CT that you're right here. So if top mid is smoked and he knows exactly where you are, he might hit you with a nasty wall spam through the smoke, right? Because he basically knows you're standing here. You're gonna be like, oh shit, it's smoked. Maybe I should wait here for the smoke to fade, right? So you're gonna die. So try not to die. You can come in the middle of this window graphic, great thing. In the middle and on the far right of this rooftop, you can left click a smoke. It'll land on the arch. I don't know if this works, to be quite honest with you. If I try to molly the cubby here, it does. Okay, so you can, I usually do this, but I guess if you miss the smoke a little bit, it can extinguish the molly. Wow, it really only gets the corner. It's kind of nuts. So if you hear him burning, right, we're top mid, I smoked it, I mollied the cubby. If you hear him burning, you can spam him while he's crossing. A lot of people do this, especially in pro games. They'll line up with this light post, and they will aim like here. This looks wrong, but they'll aim here, they'll running left click, and it mollies the bottom of patio. Let's say the CTs, you think they're boosted, your teammate in apps heard them boost up, you heard the guy jump over. You can get not in the middle, but you can go forward a little bit, as long as you can see this lantern, and you can, again, running left click, and it will land on top of the rooftop. Sometimes it spreads down. It doesn't really go super deep in, but I mean, this molly's the top of that, right? So he has to get off of it. He has to jump off midair. So when he jumps off midair, probably just wait for him to land, because if you're trying to track him midair, he might land and then hit you with a crazy stutter step. So just wait for him to land while he's burning and kill him. Okay, that's basically mid. That's an arch smoke. That's a pit smoke. That's a moto smoke. There's some basic mollies. Flashbangs, like, I don't have anything in particular. Just if your teammate's taking a fight in one direction, throw it in the opposite direction so you don't blind your teammate. Pretty standard. If you're in alt mid, So let's say we're going bridge because we're doing an apps control kind of round. You can come to these pots. You can line up with the pots, and at the bottom, oh my god, I'm in no clip still. At the bottom of this X, you know, the bottom of this wooden part is where you're going to want to be spamming. So a little bit like, you want to get lucky with the headshot, right? So I always do it like right below the X, but you can just do it anywhere along the wood is good. Along the left, along the right. And that can definitely kill somebody pushing, and you want to keep your crosshair lower on the wood so you can get the deep headshot. Because let's say he crosses this way, you might actually just like dink him, you know what I mean? If he's pushing, obviously, you can kill him. You can do a lot of damage. If your teammates bottom T-stairs, you'll hear, like, this player will hear the guy in apps getting shot. So he'll tell you to keep shooting, that's good. Some ace smokes again. There are lineups, again, they're really confusing, that's why they're kind of irrelevant. You can come on this step right here between the plant and this electrical wiring. In the middle, there is a rooftop here. On this balcony with the chair on the far left side, you'll see like a circle looking thing. You can left click jump throw. It should land moto. So yeah, that lands moto. You could do the same thing if you go up a little bit. So there's a storm drain, and there's a pipe going down the storm drain. If you're on the storm drain, you can W left click jump throw, and this should land in library. It does, it covers off. I don't really think that smoke is super useful, but maybe if you have an idea in mind, that will help you. Same thing with the storm drain. You can also left click jump throw, not a W. W is for library, but if you just left click jump throw, it should also be a moto smoke, but it lands a bit deeper. It actually misses sometimes. Like it can miss and it can land deeper, which, remember what I said about like bleeding smokes? So now you're allowing the CT to come through the smoke, jump up on this box, you know, flashbang, run through the smoke, fight the guys on site, or swing, you know, lane or something. And that's simply because the smoke bleeds out. So that's why it can miss where how you just saw it, where it can land here, and it can also just sometimes flatline on this door, which will leave a gap. So that's why I throw the one with the circle, because I think it's just a little bit more consistent. Lands moto, you'll see what that looks like. So a lot less bleed. Notice how badly the bleed came out on that other smoke. The guy could literally get on top of this box without being seen. And then you have my smoke, which has a lot less bleed. So I think that's good. Again, so if you're struggling for rounds, like let's say you have literally 0 T-side rounds, this molly's really good just for gaining early apps control. And then obviously keep your gun out, right? Because you could peek the molly anyways. And they can peek mid. So you're going to want to clear mid, right? You need to clear this in the event that there's a mid smoke. You have to clear it. Now you come up here into apps. Oh, no way. My movement's so bad right now. Alright, whatever. Get into apps cleanly, not like how I did. Now we're in apps. So if you want, you can spam this. I would really save that only if you know that someone is pushing this. You're going to want to hard line up with the wall and spam along the left wall. That's not even really... It's not even really that good of a spam because half the bullets go into the corner. I didn't really know that. I thought it was a much cleaner spam. But maybe just dead center on the X. I don't know if the X is the same on both sides. It doesn't look the same on both sides. Okay, I didn't actually realize how ineffective this spam was, but I've gotten a lot of kills doing that. So maybe you'll get lucky. Alright, so we're here. Many CTs will hold this, or they'll sit in the corner. If they're sitting in the corner, most people crouch. You're gonna want to hard clear the corner. It should be an easy frag. If they're sitting in the doorway, running through the door is maybe not the best idea. And what I just discovered is there's been a lot of iterations of Inferno where these chairs or every object on the map is a lot different. I've always jumped up on it and then just peeked into it like really fast, and I'll try to kill him, and it usually catches him off guard. I think maybe in CSGO there was a way to secretly get up on the right side, so that is why like I favor the right side, but I just discovered that you can actually just walk up the left side for some reason. So you can walk up, you can run peek it. Let's try running. I'm afraid to run. But you can't really see shit, huh? Because the lantern's there. That's why I play further back. But you can get on this, and then you can like crouch peek it. You can get on it secretly. I don't think it can see you. And then like let's say we do it like this. So we're aiming at the door, we get secretly on, or maybe we're holding the staircase, right? We'll hold the staircase just for good crosshair placement. And then we'll insta-crouch peek it, right? So we insta-crouch peek it. We should have really good reaction time killing this guy in the door. If he's boosted, you can spam him. Maybe aim a little bit higher. I aim kind of low, so maybe aim here. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe aim with this bar right here. I think that's probably good. You can't get on that anymore. Okay, this is apps, so keep in mind when you're coming down boiler, like top mid is smoked. There can be a guy holding you like this. There can be a guy holding you like this. There can be a guy holding you like this. There can be a guy holding you here, which is incredibly difficult to clear sometimes. There can be a guy on the pillar, crouching, left, right. He could be here. He could be in the corner. A lot of areas to clear. Just make sure you clear this one first, right? Come along the wall, crouch out to clear these two angles. Then clear this, right? After you clear this, don't slow peek this. Don't ever slow peek this because you'll just die to any of the angles here. So you want to get all the way in the corner and you want to fast peek it. Like you can fast peek them one by one. And hopefully you have some teammates to help you. You can throw an HE grenade here. It's like, it's fine. Like maybe it'll do 30 damage if you're lucky. You can also flashbang. And that flashbang is good. Let's say like, I know there's a guy arch. I'll flash right side, peek arch, kill arch, run back into boiler, and try not to die to this guy. Because if he gets flashed, he might hide. And while he's hiding, I'll kill his teammate. And then when he peeks, I'll be back in boiler. Or if he gets the flashbang, he might jump this way and then re-engage. Can you molly patio? I mean, that works too. Like you can molly patio from here. Molly. Yeah. If you're gonna do this, keep in mind he could be up on the boost, so you might want to spam it. That's really only if he's in the corner. Oh my god. It's really only if he's in the corner here. And what a lot of good players do is they don't play on the corner so they can't get spammed. They also play anti-flash. So you can't spam him. and the flash is going to land over here, so he's staring into the wall, so he'll wait for the flash to pop. So you kind of do need to clear this, or at least have a teammate be able to trade you. I was trying to make this video fast, but I just have too much knowledge in my head, and I think it's important, bro, so you should learn something. If you're liking the video so far, make sure to subscribe, bro, because I'm going to be doing every map, bro. There's going to be so much information. There's going to be so much learning. You're going to be programmed, kid. Okay. Last few things. Let's try to wrap it up. So, if we're coming T stairs, make sure you clear this quickly. Don't slow peek it because you will die. He could be boiler, so just have good crosshair placement and hit the head. Clear this corner. If you're afraid of boiler, you can stand in the center or anywhere really here, and you can just left click a molly. He could be on the staircase. Keep in mind he can still be on the staircase. He can run up the stairs. He can hear the molly be thrown, and he can sneak up and beat your molly. So you're going to want to clear the top of the staircase when you can. You can also left click a grenade, do the same thing. If you're coming here, you can jiggle it once if you want, but like jiggle peeking isn't really a thing in CS2 anymore, so I would just wide swing and clear. I would just clear all the angles. People play here or here on when I'm broke as a CT. I'll stand in this corner with a Zeus. So if you think the CTs are broke, probably don't come on this angle because it's a free Zeus kill. A lot of players do that. You can pre-fire it. You can pre-fire this, pre-fire all of it. Fuck it. We're coming out balcony now with our team on A. I line up with the umbrella stand down there. And there's an orange part of this wall where you can left click a molly. No shot. Why is this? Huh, interesting. Okay. So let's do, instead of the umbrella stand, let's do this thick bar. Nah, I think I'm going to do the umbrella stand. So, well, I guess you can line up with the umbrella stand at any moment. So yeah, I have to pick a bar. Let's do the third one. I'll line up with the third one. If you left click a molly here, no way. If you do the top, bro, this was going so well last time I tried it. Like, I never missed the molly. Just be very careful about your crosshair placement. Make sure it's on the orange, but on the upper left middle of the orange. This is so ridiculous. Can I go lower? Okay, this works. There's a pot there. There's a pot with leaves, and there's like a white spot. Just go right in between both of them. When you're on like this third bar, or like kind of just standing here on this square, you're gonna have to feel it out. Molly's pit, right? So that's good. That is pretty important information to know. I kind of butchered it, but you get the idea. Because the alternative is your teammates have to expose themselves to lane and then die, or you have to come here and like run one into the pit like this, and that is so easy to fuck up with how the doors are. So it's kind of better just to have a specific lineup back here, whatever your lineup may be. I was kind of lining up with that, but like it's not really good, so maybe just put the umbrella in the middle of both, right? Like of rod 3 and 4, and then like, and then use the orange maybe. It's kind of hard, but this is safer and a little bit easier to line up than the running molly. So just be very careful. If you want to throw a lurk smoke, you get stuck on this radiator, and there's a little kind of windowsill here with a flower pot in it. You got to aim directly in the dark corner and left click. And then, bro, did they change the game? Like, did they actually change the game? I know there was an update today, but like, they said it was like changing some code or some shit. Because that smoke is not supposed to land there, bro. Again, I guess you have to be really careful with where you put your crosshair, because it's supposed to land on top of the truck. So you can walk out and, you know, take the pit fight and jump this way. If you're jumping this way, a lot of CTs play here, so you can actually just fully shit on this guy and pre-fire him. You can do this, like, slower, but honestly, just pre-fire the shit out of that guy. Don't give him any respect. It's a lot better if you have a Mac 10. Just fuck that guy. Don't slow peek him. He's a loser. He plays balcony. CTs can also play here, so just be very cautious of this angle. It's very strong. I don't really know how to, like, combat that. Like, let's say we throw the lurk smoke. We clear balcony. We clear graveyard if we can. It's smoked off, right? We clear this corner. And then we get here. We're coming out A anyways. We threw a smoke. We know it's an A hit. Like, you have to look on the pit boost and bottom pit. So, like, this is where that molly comes into play, where you can molly the pit. So you only have to deal with the guy burning pit crossing, which means you know where he is, or the guy here. So maybe just pre-fire this and then pre-fire this and kill him. If you die, you probably hit him, you know, 30 to 60, and your teammates running up lane can finish the kill. That's really all you can hope for. Okay, we have arch control, right? With all of our mid smokes that we learned earlier. There's a window here in the bottom left. You can left click a smoke. I'm going to try something. It might miss. So instead of aiming in the corner of the window, I'm going to aim a little bit to the right. And I'm going to jump throw. I just want to see if this is maybe a bit better of cover. Yeah, it's a little bit better. So if you aim in the corner, there's a small gap here. If you do it this way, you can aim a little bit to the right. Maybe if I don't know what your graphics look like, but there's 3 flowers here. If you aim at the 3rd flower and up on the windowsill, bottom of the windowsill, jump throw, you'll be able to not be peeked from moto or library, and you can go arch. You can also go through the smoke. Feel free to go through the smoke and come behind the moto player or the library player, because he might be like, oh shit, they smoked this, they're going arch, like, let me hold arch, right? So just go through the smoke. A smart player would be like, hey, they smoked me off, let me left click the smoke with a HE grenade and fight. Be careful about library, because for some reason oppers come here a lot. I don't really think it's a good op spot. Like, it's safe, but it's not really impactful. So just be careful of oppers here. Also, people on this table or in this far corner crouching, waiting for the lurk. Maybe that's kind of why you'd want to smoke library out, or at the very least, like, molly it. Like, you can throw this smoke, let it bloom, clear arch, and then molly the center of this arch, right? Just nail one in there. So that guy's kind of fucked. Yeah, this is fine. So a cool thing you can do, it's pretty irrelevant, but if you come into this corner and you have an op, along the right side of the blue window, I think it's here. So you go 1 diamond, 2 diamond, I think in the center of the second diamond along the blue side, you can spam Cold Zera with an op, and it should be a headshot kill if the guy's like crouching or if he's standing here. I wish I could like, so I can rethrow my grenades, right? I have a keybind. I wish I could like replay my bullet shot just to get the wallbang correct. Because that would be cool. But you can wallbang that. It's, you'll probably get reported. If you're coming up, there are some pro lineups where like you could put a smoke like here. Or let's say, you know, you molly pit, you smoke pit, whatever, you're taking space this way. Moto's smoked, we're fighting on site. So a lot of people will throw a flashbang like this. Or off of this window. Holy blind. So anything you can do to get a flashbang over here is really helpful for any CTs standing here or deeper back. We make it to the truck, right? We make it to the truck. There's nothing on my screen. I'm like, okay, there's definitely an A player or two. Maybe the bomb is down and they're holding a crossfire, and I heard him jump up on this box, right? This box is called Cold Zera. I heard him jump up on the box. If you're at this truck and you're looking for the arch player, and you say, oh my god, I heard him jump on the sight box. The dark part of this brick, you can wall bang it, and that should kill a Cold Zera player. I mean, it's not directly the corner, so directly the corner would be this. There's one large brick here, one white large brick. You'll be able to kill him that way. Try not to spend too many bullets doing that because you will get swung if you don't kill him instantly. Make sure you clear balcony. Make sure you know, if we're coming up lane, they don't have they don't have apps control. Make sure you clear mini pit. You have to clear everything on the site before you can plant the bomb. You have to clear all of the angles. You have to clear this, right? People stand here. People stand crouch here. People crouch here, and people crouch here, right? And they'll hide their gun so you can't see them from default. If they don't hide their gun, you can see them from default. So you have to, again, feel free to use bullets to clear positions. Instead of going like this and running into the guy's crosshair, you can just spam it, right? And then, like, he has no chance. He just lost 60 to 70 health. He might even just die, depending on how slow he is to react. This is the default plant spot. If you don't know where the opponent is, you can plant somewhere safer like this corner or behind this pillar or sometimes even here, depending on the setup. Try to plant in a position where you cannot die from angles that your teammates are not covering. Try to plant within the safety of your teammates along this. Be very careful about planting here, because if you're a crucial part of the post plant, and your teammates just simply don't have an angle on the bomb and you die, the enemy team can stick it, right? So that's kind of why you're going to want to plant here sometimes. It's near this box on the red tile on the left side of the tile, because this is planted for pit. This is also planted for pit, but it's like default, right? So it's also closer. So the guy can be like, I'm going to tap it, then I'm going to shift up, and I'm going to shoot you in the side of the head, right? But that's further away, so he can't really like tap it and kill the pit player. And then this is the default plant spot, right? It could be planted for balcony, mini pit, you know, lane, right? Let's say the bomb's planted here and the CT smoked it, and I'm coming out boiler, right? So I know that it's smoked. I know he's sticking. I'm going to use the top of this barrel and the building to spam out the guy defusing. Like, you need to use your environment to help you kill people through the smokes. Keep in mind, that if it's planted here, he doesn't need to defuse from here. He doesn't need to defuse directly on the bomb. He could defuse this way and hide his body from the angle, so you need to go a little bit further out. And he could also trick you and defuse from down here, right? So you'll be spamming along this line, but he's actually on a completely different line, and he's going to get the ninja defuse, right? So you have to just be very cautious. Feel free to use an HE grenade such as this one, where we're at boiler. We're going to learn some geometry, learn some basic tricks to blow open that smoke, right? And then, once there is no smoke, there is no cover, we'll be able to kill him. Because there are a few tricks that the CT could use to defuse the bomb. If we're in pit, there are a couple things you should probably learn. I think in this corner, if you aim up this way... There are specific lineups to resmoke moto. I don't have one. I don't have one in particular. I should really have a specific lineup to resmoke moto. I don't really like that one. If you go next to this barrel, you can nade the smoke. If you think the CTs, you can use the top of the roof there on the barrel. You can, if you think the CTs are going to run through the smoke, flash through it or whatever, or if you know there's like 3 guys arch or whatever, you can left click this nade and it should do pretty good damage. If you just kind of eyeball it and running throw it, it'll go a little deeper on the corner. And if you think they're going to come through the smoke or the smoke faded, you can sit here and you have an angle on arch, right? So you might be able to get a cheesy kill. It's very difficult to get the trade kill on you. And that's pretty much T-side Inferno. Like, I think that's about everything I probably could have said to relate to the casual player's experience and help people become better. Because if every teammate I ever played with understood what I just said, I think I would get a minimum of 6 rounds every single Inferno T-side, which is not always the case. So if you like the video, bro, drop a subscribe, bro. Wait for the next video, which is going to be, should I do all the T-side videos, or should I do the whole map? Should I do CT side Inferno next, or should I do a T-side for another map? We'll find out. We'll see what the vibe is, but I feel pretty good about that. So I'm gonna leave it there.